Welcome. A number can't join us today, but they are among us. It's quite a popular name with my grandchildren, among us. So, yeah, a big welcome. There's the focus today is on keeping up our spirits, and just talking with Celeste on the really serious drought in the central belt in Zambia, Malawi area. But there are a few drops of rain on the horizon. It's nearly Old Testament in that waiting, like Elijah did, waiting for those storm clouds to come over. And so each of us in our own way are experiencing something around these huge weather shifts that are happening with climate change all over the world. And none of us are immune from it, but some of us are more protected from it. And so today we are facing so much overwhelm in the West and the Middle East with war. And I certainly, in my heart, there's a huge amount of anger and rage. And there's a big focus this week with Quakers. It's Prison Week. So it's justice and penal systems, which we've always been very involved with. And it's an interesting thought as we keep our spirits up. How many people went to prison because of what they deeply believed in, which is freedom for all? And I was thinking, what would I be prepared to go to prison for? It's just a question I've asked myself. And I think if I was younger, I hope I would be prepared to go to prison for taking away all arms and bombs, and particularly selling them to countries that can wreak havoc. So that's what we're doing, is keeping up our spirits and holding on to that which we value, that which is very close to our hearts. And that's all we can do in this world, in this life, is to do that for which we've come. And it'll always be around bringing peace and joy, stability, and sometimes silence. It was one of Maya Angelou's big things, was holding silence. Sometimes that's all we can do, is to hold our presence. So let's get into the practice today, which will be all around keeping up our spirits. My leg is still giving me jip, so I can't sit in easy pose very easily. So sitting grounded, we live out our life on earth in such a short time. And as we ground and come down onto this earth, we are given the privilege of feeling, experiencing, raging, crying, laughing. These are all huge emotions that humans, among all the mammals, have been given, this range of emotion. So as we come in this very unstable time of climate, politics, injustice, let's settle down into our own bodies, for we each have been given whatever we've been given to do on earth. And sometimes it's good to hold silence. As we hold our own presence in this moment, feel yourself grounding, rooting into the experience of living on earth. And being in the Sangat, in the community of others, we also hold one another. So being mindful that we're separate and yet we're together. And this is where our great support comes from, is to not be isolated or alone in our own struggle. So keeping up our spirit, bring a slight smile to your face, remembering those who've gone before us, who kept up their spirits in community, in the community of others, in the face of suffering, of injustice, inequality. Face of untruths. And allow ourselves to breathe into whatever is, allowing and not being against our rage or our anger or our sadness or our fear. Let's not be against it, for it is part of our human experience. Bringing a slight smile, which is a wonderful form of resistance. Connecting the smile to the breath. Sensing into our spirit. Really making our breath a bit deeper. As we breathe in the fragrance and the beauty around us. In the west, it's still dark. Breathing in the mustiness of the air. And we breathe out peace and gratefulness that we can be on this earth. Bringing our hands now into prayer posture. We breathe in now the suffering in the world, in the countries we're in the countries around us. We breathe in the suffering that often our countries have created. We hold it and we breathe out peace. As we do this, we recognize that it's just one light in a dark place can light up. And we hold and we then keep up our spirits. For we are many lights. Feeling into your hands, remaining fully embodied for this whole practice. Let's breathe in to begin. Om Namo Guru Dev. Om Dev. Om Dev. You breathe in, feeling the sound current, the vibration, holding our stillness, our quietness, softening our faces, slightly pulling the root block, and release. And so we're going to start with going straight into the set. So it's everything is being grounded and keeping up the sense of our own alignment with community, the earth, ourselves, our soul, and our spirit, which of course is the spirit, the one spirit that breathes over the world. So our hands are going to be up, and we're going to do 4 movements. So then put our hands first of all forward, then up, then back. So it's a wrist movement and up. And just using your breath, softening your shoulders down, keeping your back straight, your face soft. It's a really simple movement. And see if you can feel into every tiny muscle that's working in this exercise. As we do it, we reach up as children that are both helpless and helped, powerless and yet powerful, holding the paradox that we reach up and out. And I'll put on some music that was playing up. Just keep going, allowing your breath to regulate you. Notice your jaw, if it's tense. Drop your chin down, feeling that wrist moving. Focusing on a huge number of tiny bones and muscles that are working for us in this movement. Adjust your position and notice, witness where the body is getting tired, where the arms are feeling a bit strained, and move them if you need to. Allow your breath to support you. Soften your belly, your shoulders, reaching up through the paradox, reaching up and yet connecting down. We are huge, we're infinite, and yet we're tiny. Nearly there. A few more seconds, observe it. Observe the tension, the breath, body. And reaching up, bringing the hands together, stretching the spine. Hold the breath. Pull the root lock. And release down through the center of your being to hold balance. Now we're going to go into the next exercise. Before we do, just shaking out your shoulders, moving your body a bit, just to shake out. Stretch your hands behind your backs. Do what you need to fully embrace our bodies, not connecting with my foot. We're going to come into the next exercise, which is clasping our hands inverted. So our fingers are on the inside and our thumbs are on the out. And we're having it at the heart center. We're breathing in as we come out, breathing out as we come in. It's a soaring action, feeling into the sensations that are being felt now in the hands in a different way. Feeling into the space in front of you. Coordinate your breath. Focus on the breath. Focus on the groundingness of being rooted to the earth. However unstable the climatic systems are, and how the earth is trembling, because we're part of it. We feel the shock waves. We are water, we are air, we are earth. Softening the face, dropping the chin, everything aligned down the spine. And keep going. Notice the smells that you're experiencing. The little tiny hairs in your nose. As I cycled yesterday past a place where often gypsies stop till they're moved on. And there's been a wood carver who does these big wooden foxes and owls. He's been there for 2 months, and I cycled past. He's gone now, but the aromas left of his wood shavings. I smelt it and enjoyed it. As I cycled past, there was the pile of wood that the travelers had used to boil their cauldron 3 months ago. Sensing with our animal instincts into the sensations of smell, touch, feel your hands as your fingers are clasped inside those fists. Coming back to the heart center. So each of these exercises becomes a meditation on its own. Remembering to keep the face soft, receptive. Whether I live 1 day or 1,000 years, to be present in this moment. Nearly there. See if you can soften your shoulders. We hold so much tension Notice what's needed in the movement rather than tensing into it. Last 10 seconds. And release down. And take time to notice how your body is, where you feel the tension, where you feel joy, where you feel sadness. These are all part of the elementary beings that we are. And to keep up spirit, we must not deny any one of these experiences. Feeling into your breath. Making your way down to lying on your back. We're going to do alternate leg lifts with our hands under our bums. Now feeling right into the whole of your body being supported by the earth. Hands under our bums and feeling right into the belly as we lift one leg and push it down, let it down, and mindfully moving, noticing what muscles are you using to correct, adjust. And this is a microcosm of this earth. The earth will survive because it can adjust itself, and it will, as it gets overloaded, so it will rebalance. And we can do that in our own bodies. We balance ourselves through our nutrition, through recognizing every muscle, every movement. How nature heals us. Stay in the body, feeling the pushing right down in your third center. And just keep going, observing your own body. Noticing the angle that you're working at, right up into a 90-degree angle. Feeling into the muscles that are working for you, supporting you. And keep going. Keep observing, using it as a meditation on your own body as a whole cosmic system. Using your breath to coordinate and power, so you hold a whole rhythm in your body, your mind, your spirit. As we balance these, so it's just as we balance nutrition and food, so we can keep up our spirits, because we're doing the very best we can. Last minute. And release down. Allow yourself to sink into the earth, become the earth, be supported by the earth. Let your shoulders drop down. It's very indicative of how much we trust to be able to surrender down. Feel wherever there's contact on the ground. Let your breath come long and deep. Soften your face. And as you soften down, maybe you'll feel your whole nervous system relaxing a bit. Remembering moments of when we find it so hard to trust because we felt let down. And we re-engage that same nervous system to trust again in being held by this earth. And now making your way up. We're going to have our legs out and we're going to do some stretching, holding onto our toes if we can, lengthening our back or holding onto a stable place on your legs. Perfect the posture. Straight back, chin down, straight legs. So you're feeling the sciatic nerve, the whole stretch down the life nerve. And move your head down to your knees and back up again. Your head is the last part that moves down. Do it slowly, meaningfully, so you feel your whole spine as it flexes up. Coordinating it with the breath, breathing in as you come up. And out as you go down. Observe your body, observe the movement. Be kind and gentle with whatever arises. Don't judge it, notice it. As much as we take care of ourselves and we keep up our own spirits, we then are able to radiate that out for others. But also to protect ourselves from too much overwhelm, too much news, which in itself overwhelms us so that our nervous system cannot process it. Sometimes to let go of these systems is what we need, and just to focus on being embodied right here, right now, in what's happening. Trust your body. Trust yourself to know when to move away from something harmful, and when you have the capacity to move towards it. when it's futile and when it's necessary. Last 30 seconds. And coming up to a full stretch, perfect the posture, drop the chin, drop the shoulders, feel the straight legs, the straight back, the triangle, holding the stability of the whole circuitry of your body, holding the breath, pulling the root lock, drawing the energy up and releasing down. Moving your toes, your ankles, and shake yourself out. And take a pause in this racingly fast world that we're living in. We call it in yoga Kali Yuga. Everything feels it's speeding up. Internet, AI, wherever we turn, things seem to be going faster. Allowing ourselves to balance that with quietening down and noticing, observing. Feeling the breath right down into the depth of your belly. We're now into a cat and cow position. Wonderful position for stability, that number 4. Feeling your knee, hip width apart. Hands just beneath your shoulders. Dropping your back down and your head up into a cow. Be in no hurry. And then breathing out and coming into an angry cat. Staying with the slowness of the movement. The hands connected to the earth. And to keep up our spirits, it often takes us to slow down. We're learning more and more as everything speeds up. It's no wonder that mindfulness is growing. Meditation practices are growing. Ancient wisdoms are being more embraced and remembered. So use it as a meditation on the grounding of your body and the movement of the spine, the nervous system, the muscles, the bones, the wrists as they hold a right angle on the floor. There's so much to be an amazement about. Last few seconds. Now, staying in cow, so you're dropping your back. If you're able to, maybe make sure your knees are cushioned for this. We're going to lean a bit forward and we're going to just moving our legs, our heels towards our buttocks. You might be able to kick your buttocks, you might not be able to. but make sure your knees are protected. And coordinate your breath. It'll become quite a fast breath. Last 30 seconds. And breathe in, coming down into baby pose. Relax your forehead. Connecting now your point of intuition, the intelligence of all that's gone before, down to the earth. Staying fully connected. And as we notice that we move to keep up our spirits, there's a huge connection with all the elements, away from this hyper-individualistic, isolated way of living on earth. We begin to connect and we listen. Although huge populations have been decimated of animals, like 70% of insects, still they regenerate under the right conditions. And we keep up our spirits. But we know nature has a way of returning to its own balance. Now coming up to standing, we're going to do some soupy grinds. So having our feet about our hips width apart, moving round, feeling into your, start keeping your knees soft so you're feeling into the ground. Maybe remaining with that, what that Alexander technique does is moving towards your toes rather than your heels for balance. Feeling into your feet. The capacity of nature to regenerate and keep up its spirit. In the face of catastrophe, the remnant returns. I hear that the wolves are returning to the Alps. A remnant which had been nearly extinguished is returning. And so we keep up our spirits. Feeling into the ground, into the earth, into your hips, into that second chakra, which is very much in the water element. Making a circle as big as you can now. And changing direction. Feel how your body balances itself as it moves from one foot to the other. and how some of the vertebrae in our slightly aging bodies feel a bit more strained than the others. And therefore, other parts of our body come in to support. The danger is, of course, they can overprotect. And coming up straight, just ground yourself, shake out your hands, your body. And we're going to go straight into the next one, which is a bit energetic. So we're moving our hands up, back, and touching the ground. Breathing in, coming up, and touching the ground. See if you can get your palms flat on the ground. Again, keeping up our spirits through fully connecting to our body, our minds, our spirits, the Sangat, the earth, all the elements. They've seen it all. Now moving your feet further apart. I call this giraffe pose, doing the same thing, but with your feet planted further apart. Last few. And coming up, we're going to just have our hands on our shoulders and reach them up. So we're moving from the shoulders up. Breathing in as you go up, out as you go down. And release down. Catch your breath. Recognize your heart now is beating faster. We've gone from very slow movements to faster ones. Feeling yourself balanced on your feet. Slightly towards your toes, your knees soft, your shoulders dropped. Making your way down to your mat again. Do a few head rolls. Allowing now our heads to be part of the embodiment of this lower system that we've worked with. The intelligence that's not coming from the computer brain, but from the wisdom of the ages, changing direction. We're going to spend the last few minutes either lying down or sitting in with your hands over your heart. And we're going to play that healing mantra, Ramadasa, and just join in if you can. holding this vibration, we have so much support through the Sangat, through creation, through the sound, the vibration, our breath, the elements, to keep up our spirits. Satnam. And let's close with 3 long Satnams. Let's breathe in to begin. Satnam. 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 Breathing in, we stay in stillness and quietness. That's a moment of the everlasting. And we release Satnam.